Listen closely. Chosen one. This moment you are living in is not ordinary. The air around you is shifting quietly yet powerfully, because heaven is aligning something that was once hidden from your sight. You can feel it, can't you? The restlessness, the sense that something is about to move, even if you can't yet see what it is. That's because you are standing at the edge of divine fulfillment. You are about to step into what was promised long ago. For years you have carried faith like a lantern in the dark, walking through seasons that tested your endurance and questioned your purpose. You wondered if the promises spoken over your life were delayed, denied, or forgotten. But here is the truth. Heaven is speaking now. They were never denied, only divinely timed. Every detour, every waiting room, every closed door was orchestrated to prepare the exact conditions for this moment. The path that once seemed blocked is unlocking before your eyes. Doors you couldn't force open are beginning to shift under divine command. You've been faithful in silence, obedient, when unseen, patient, when nothing made sense. And now that obedience is echoing in the heavens, God is moving not slowly, not later, but now. This message is not a coincidence. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were drawn here because this word carries your name. The Spirit of God is whispering into your heart, you are stepping into the promise. That means what was spoken in private is about to be seen in public. What was once a seed is about to become a harvest. It won't happen by striving or human effort. The same God who gave the vision is the one unlocking the path. This isn't just a new chapter. It's the fulfillment of an entire season. You are entering into divine alignment, the moment where promise meets purpose and timing meets truth. So take a breath. Feel the holy stillness in the air. Heaven is leaning close. This is the moment where your waiting turns into walking, where your prayers turn into pathways. You're not being pushed, you're being invited. God is saying, step forward. The way is open. The path ahead will not look like the past. Something sacred is unfolding. Stay close, because what comes next will reveal why every delay, every tear, and every test was necessary. Because when heaven moves, it rarely announces itself with thunder. It moves in stillness, first in whispers, in gentle tugs on the heart, in moments where your spirit feels both heavy and expectant. That's how God begins the unlocking. Before the door opens in the physical, it creaks open in the spiritual. You may have felt that quiet pull lately, a strange mixture of peace and pressure. It's not confusion. It's divine convergence. Something holy has been set in motion. The waiting wasn't wasted. The silence wasn't punishment. It was God tuning your spirit to hear Him clearly again. He's been closer than you realized. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every sigh you released into the night, He heard all of it. And while you wondered if heaven had forgotten, heaven was actually building. The foundation of the promise had to be laid in unseen soil, where your faith could deepen and your roots could strengthen. This message comes from that very place, not from human intuition or fleeting emotion, but from divine instruction. There is a shift occurring, ordained and timed perfectly. It's as if the hand of God has reached down to turn the final key. You've stood at locked gates before, pressing, praying, believing. But this time, you won't have to push. The gate will swing, because heaven says, it's time. There is something sacred about this timing. It carries both authority and tenderness. The Father's voice isn't shouting, it's inviting. He's saying, you've been faithful over little, now watch me make you ruler over much. That's not pride, that's divine fulfillment. You endured the fire, and instead of burning, you were refined. The coming days will carry weight, not the kind that breaks, but the kind that crowns. You'll sense direction where confusion once lived. You'll feel peace where pressure once suffocated. Doors will respond to your presence not because of your strength, but because heaven recognizes your assignment. This is more than motivation. It's revelation. You are stepping into a sequence already written. The author is turning the page, and this next paragraph of your life has already been signed in grace. You're not striving for the promise anymore. You're inheriting it. And yet, even as this unfolds, humility will remain your anchor. For what is about to open is not just for your elevation, but for His glory. The path ahead will reveal purpose bigger than you imagined. It's the kind of destiny that doesn't just bless you, it blesses those connected to you. So listen carefully. Heaven isn't simply restoring what was lost. It's expanding what was promised. You are being positioned for something that will ripple through generations. As this word continues, what will unfold is not prediction, it's confirmation. The Spirit has already whispered it to you in dreams, in sudden signs, in quiet knowing. Now the time has come to bring it into light. Because when God unlocks the path, no one, no system, no delay, no doubt can close it again. You've sensed it for a while now, that holy unease in your spirit, that feeling that something just beyond the visible is waiting to be revealed. The pieces have been moving quietly in the background, threads being woven by unseen hands. What once felt like endless waiting was never idleness. It was divine choreography. And now heaven begins to lift the veil. This is the revelation. The season of promise has begun to unfold. Not in some distant future, not in vague hope, but here now in the present moment. God is unlocking what was sealed, releasing what was restrained, revealing what was hidden. The path ahead is not random. It's the same one He marked long ago, when He whispered destiny into your bones. You've walked the wilderness, but the wilderness was never your destination. It was your preparation for the promised ground you are now approaching. Imagine it, the first rays of dawn, breaking over a long, dark horizon. You've been walking through nights of uncertainty, praying through tears, carrying faith like a torch in the storm. And suddenly, the horizon blushes with light. That's where you stand now, in the in-between space, where night and morning meet, where the old season ends and the promise begins. But this promise, it isn't small. It's not a single answered prayer or a momentary breakthrough. It's a shift, a divine realignment that touches every layer of your life. It's the kind of promise that reshapes identity, reorders purpose, and redefines what you thought was possible. It's the fulfillment of something heaven dreamed over you before you ever knew your own name. God says, I am unlocking what has been withheld, not because you earned it through perfection, but because your perseverance proved your faith. Every time you stood when it would have been easier to fall, every time you prayed instead of giving up. Heaven took note. Those unseen acts of faith were keys, and now all those keys turn at once. You may not have realized it, but each trial was a door disguised. Each heartbreak was a passageway, each disappointment a redirection. And now those hidden doors begin to swing open, not one, but many. Some will lead to restoration, some to elevation, and some to revelation. You will soon see why the path had to twist and narrow. It was the only way to lead you exactly here. This is what stepping into promise truly means, not escaping your past, but seeing it redeemed. Not running toward blessings, but walking into alignment with them. You're not chasing miracles anymore. You've become one. The very ground beneath you is shifting to accommodate what heaven is about to release. In the days ahead, you'll notice small shifts, first conversations that seem coincidental, but aren't opportunities that appear out of nowhere, doors that open without your effort. Don't dismiss them. They are the outward signs of an inward fulfillment. God is saying, the lock is undone. Walk through. But remember this, Unveiling is not just about what you'll receive, it's about who you're becoming. The promise isn't a destination, it's a transformation. You've been shaped by every storm, purified by every fire, refined, until your spirit reflects heaven's light. And now that light becomes your guide. Let your heart be still. You don't have to rush or prove anything. You are not behind schedule. You are arriving on time. The divine path is unlocking in front of you, and every step you take now is sacred. What once was confusion will turn into clarity. What once was wilderness will turn into a well-watered garden. What once felt like loss will turn into testimony. So lift your eyes, the dawn isn't coming. It's here. The promise has already begun to breathe. You are walking into what heaven wrote for you, step by step, moment by moment. The prophecy is no longer waiting to happen. It's unfolding. Right now through you. The promise unfolding before you is not random. It's rooted in a divine pattern. Everything that seemed disconnected was part of heaven's hidden architecture. God never builds from the outside in. He builds from the inside out. The storms, the silence, the long waiting, they were all construction sites in your spirit. The path that is now unlocking is not just a route to blessing, it's a revelation of identity. Every divine promise is tied to who you are becoming, not just what you are receiving. That's why the journey has been so personal, so intense, so stretching. The promise had to fit the person, and God has been shaping the person for the promise. Think of it this way. The wilderness was your forge. The pressure wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Just as gold must endure fire to reveal its brilliance, your soul had to endure refining to reveal its purpose. The heat didn't destroy you, it purified what was eternal in you. You've been walking through seasons where it felt like God was silent. But heaven was speaking in symbols instead of sentences. Every delay carried meaning. Every closed door was a teacher. Every detour was heaven whispering, "Not yet, I'm still working in you. What must be completed before I work through you?" And now, as the promise begins to unfold, the deeper truth is this: the unlocking is happening within you first. Before any door opens in the natural, there is a shift in your spirit. That's why your discernment has been heightened lately. That's why peace feels different. Why old desires no longer satisfy. Why you felt a pull toward quietness. Heaven prepares manifestation by transforming perception. The divine path is not a road you walk upon. It's a rhythm you align with. When your heart beats in sync with heaven's tempo, doors don't resist you. They recognize you. That is why some doors didn't open before. You hadn't yet become who they were built to receive. In this moment, heaven invites you to see your story differently. Every dry season was an invitation to deeper dependence. Every unanswered question was a call to higher trust. God was not withholding. He was weaving. He was building depth so that when the promise comes, it won't overwhelm you. It will fit you. There is a holy reversal taking place now. The same places that once brought pain will become places of praise. The same areas where you faced rejection will become areas of recognition. It's the divine paradox. What was meant to break you became what built you. The unseen battles birthed unseen strength. And yet the meaning runs even deeper. This unlocking is not just for you. The promise you're stepping into carries legacy. It's designed to bless others through you, family, generations, even strangers who encounter your testimony. You are stepping into the kind of fulfillment that multiplies. Heaven does not release promise without purpose. It always intends impact. So when you feel that stirring in your spirit, that quiet certainty that something is about to change, understand this: it's heaven's confirmation that you've crossed over from believing to becoming. The delay between prayer and promise has closed. The time of revelation has begun. Still, this moment calls for reverence. Divine timing is sacred because it carries responsibility. Promise always arrives, wrapped in stewardship. The same fire that tested your endurance now fuels your clarity. You no longer walk as one who's unsure. You walk as one entrusted. The light you carry now will draw both blessings and battles. But don't be afraid. Illumination always attracts attention. You are not here to hide anymore. You are here to shine. And that shine is not arrogance, it's obedience. So let the metaphors speak deeply. The door represents opportunity, but also obedience walking through when called. The light represents revelation, clarity that exposes lies and guides steps. The storm represents refinement, the necessary shaking that separates what's weak from what's eternal. The path represents partnership, God's hand and your faith moving as one. When these elements align, divine fulfillment manifests. You are not stepping into coincidence, you are stepping into covenant. Heaven honors faith that endures when nothing is visible, and now heaven rewards it. So breathe this truth in. You are standing in a sacred intersection, where faith meets fulfillment and prophecy becomes presence. The same spirit that sustained you through wilderness now walks beside you into wonder. This is not just a change of season, it's a change of atmosphere. You are stepping out of waiting and into walking, out of preparation and into possession, out of promise delayed and into promise delivered. When heaven begins to move in your life, it doesn't always start with thunder or spectacle. It begins with gentle confirmation. These are not coincidences. They are divine signals woven into the fabric of your days. God speaks through patterns, through moments that make your spirit pause and say, "That felt different." And in this season, those signs are becoming unmistakable. The first sign is divine alignment. You'll begin to notice how situations start fitting together effortlessly. People appearing at the right moment, opportunities resurfacing, without your pursuit timing that feels too precise to be random. It's as if invisible hands are guiding the puzzle pieces of your destiny into place. This alignment is not your doing. It's evidence that heaven has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. The second sign is holy restlessness. You'll feel an inner stirring, a discomfort with the old, and an irresistible pull towards something new. It may not make sense logically, but it resonates spiritually. That unease isn't confusion. It's confirmation that your spirit has outgrown the previous season. You are being summoned forward. The third sign is repeated messages, scriptures, words, phrases, or even songs that echo the same theme no matter where you turn. You'll see them in conversations, in dreams, on billboards, in sermons, in unexpected places. These repetitions are heaven's highlighters, emphasizing what God wants you to remember. When something keeps coming up, don't dismiss it, discern it. The fourth sign is shifting relationships. Some people will drift away, while others will suddenly reappear. Don't mourn the movement, honor it. God is rearranging the circle around you to match the chapter you're stepping into. The promise you're walking toward requires the right company, those who carry faith, not fear. Purpose, not distraction. The shifting isn't rejection, it's refinement. The fifth sign is peace in uncertainty. You'll begin to sense calm, even when circumstances remain unresolved. The peace won't come from the absence of storms, but from the awareness that the storm no longer controls you. That inner stillness is heaven's way of saying, "It is already done." You're not waiting for change, you're walking through it. And then there are the subtle confirmations, dreams that feel more vivid, timing that feels divinely orchestrated. A soft whisper in prayer that feels like recognition rather than instruction. These are sacred nudges. They remind you that God doesn't just direct your path, He walks it with you. Sometimes the signs will come through resistance too, doors that suddenly close because they weren't meant for your next level. Don't mistake that for loss. When heaven locks a door, it's only because it's unlocking the right one. In all these confirmations, the thread is unmistakable. The atmosphere around your life is changing. Things that once resisted you will begin to respond differently. Places that once felt empty will start to hum with divine activity. You'll sense that the air itself carries expectancy, as though creation is leaning in, waiting to see what God will do through you next. So watch carefully. These signs are heaven's fingerprints, gentle, consistent, personal. They are proof that what was spoken is now moving from promise into manifestation. Every divine unlocking comes with a moment of testing. Not because God wants to break you, but because He wants to build what will last. Just before the promise manifests, the pressure often increases. It's the paradox of destiny. The light intensifies right before breakthrough. These final tests are not punishments. They are confirmations that you are close. You might feel tension rising again, small obstacles, moments of fatigue, or even sudden doubt. The path that was glowing moments ago may feel clouded for a brief time. Don't panic. This is the final refinement. When metal meets flame for the last time, the impurities rise to the surface. What feels like chaos is actually purification. Heaven is ensuring that what you carry into the promise is pure, not tainted by fear, bitterness, or self-reliance. Sometimes the challenge comes through people. Misunderstandings, unexpected distance, or even criticism can arise just as favor increases. That's not coincidence. When God elevates you, He also reveals hearts around you. Don't retaliate, discern. Every reaction reveals alignment. Some can walk with you through warfare, but not through wonder. Learn to bless and release without resentment. Another challenge will be inner conflict. The temptation to doubt what you once believed. You'll hear the whispers, was that really God? Did I imagine it? What if it doesn't happen? That's the last tactic of delay, doubt disguised as logic. But your spirit knows better. The same God who sustained you through the wilderness didn't bring you this far to abandon you at the door. You may also face fatigue, not of the body, but of the soul. The long journey has been heavy, and just when the finish line is near, your energy may waver. That's when grace carries you. Remember, divine timing doesn't rely on human strength. When your endurance fades, His power completes what you cannot. And then comes silence. It might feel like heaven grows quiet again, just when you need reassurance most. But this silence is not absence. It's the stillness before manifestation. Think of it as the pause before dawn, the moment when the world seems frozen in anticipation. The silence means something sacred is forming. In these moments, resist the urge to act prematurely. Impatience can sabotage what's nearly complete. Instead, let trust become your anchor. Remind your heart that delays are no longer denials. They are divine pacing. Every promise has a process, and this is the final stretch. Remember, gold is tested by fire, but crowns are tested by weight. The very promise you prayed for comes with responsibility. So as God unlocks new doors, walk humbly, walk wisely, and keep your gaze upward. Don't let temporary trials make you forget eternal truths. If you're facing sudden resistance right now, take it as confirmation. You're not being punished, you're being polished. Heaven is aligning every element for perfect timing. The shaking isn't to destroy, it's to stabilize. The winds aren't against you, they're clearing your path. You've endured too much to turn back now. Hold steady, the test is not evidence of God's distance, but proof of His nearness. You are walking through the final refining fire. And when you emerge, nothing will look the same again. Now that heaven has confirmed your promise and refined your spirit through the final tests, divine instruction follows. Every prophetic unlocking requires alignment steps that prepare your hands and heart to hold what's being released. This is not a time for passivity. It's a time for precision. God is guiding you into movement that is both sacred and strategic. The first instruction is to walk, not wait. The time for hesitation has ended. You don't need another confirmation to take the next step. You are the confirmation. Faith is not waiting for all the details. It's stepping forward when only one lamp of light is visible. The path doesn't unfold before those who watch it. It unfolds before those who walk it. Heaven is saying, move in obedience, and the rest will reveal itself. The second instruction is to release the old weight. You cannot carry old fears, wounds, or identities into new territory. The promise requires space, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Let go of the need to explain yourself, the need to prove your worth, the urge to revisit past seasons that no longer serve your purpose. God is not restoring you to who you were. He's revealing who you truly are. To step forward, travel light. The third instruction is to stay sensitive to divine nudges. The Holy Spirit will whisper strategies, send people, or close doors that once seemed perfect. Pay attention to what gives peace, not just pleasure. Peace is heaven's compass. When something disrupts your peace, step back. When something deepens your peace, step in. The promise is not only about outcome, but alignment. The fourth instruction is to cultivate stillness. In a world that glorifies noise and speed, stillness becomes your secret weapon. Don't rush the process just because others are moving fast. Stillness is not inactivity. It's spiritual alertness. In silence, you will hear divine specifics, where to go, what to speak, whom to trust. This next chapter requires clarity, not chaos. The fifth instruction is to guard your atmosphere. Not everyone can walk with you into the fulfillment. Protect your peace, your focus, and your faith. Limit access to voices that drain your belief or distort your vision. You don't need validation from those who can't see what God showed you. Surround yourself with people who speak life, not doubt. The sixth instruction is to worship as warfare. The closer you are to breakthrough, the more the enemy tries to sow distraction. But praise shifts the atmosphere. Worship turns worry into strength and fear into authority. When you worship in the middle of uncertainty, you declare that heaven's promise outweighs earth's pressure. Your praise isn't just expression, it's strategy. The seventh instruction is to document what God does. Write down confirmations, prophetic dreams, open doors, and moments of grace. These records will anchor you when future storms come. What you record today becomes revelation tomorrow. You'll be able to look back and say, He did it before. He will do it again. The eighth instruction is to prepare for increase. God is not unlocking small blessings. He's establishing expansion. Prepare practically and spiritually. Clean the areas of your life that reflect neglect. Organize, declutter, set systems in place. When heaven sends overflow, it honors preparation. An unready vessel can't carry a ready blessing. And the ninth instruction, perhaps the most vital, is to stay humble. The same God who opens doors sustains them. Remember, favor is a mantle, not a medal. It's meant to serve others, not to glorify self. Keep gratitude alive. It's the soil where divine promise continues to grow. As these instructions take root, the energy around you will change. Movement will increase. Divine connections will appear. And through it all, stay anchored in prayer. Heaven doesn't just want you to receive the promise, it wants you to walk in partnership. Each instruction is a step on the sacred path. Together they form the rhythm of divine progress. Heaven doesn't require perfection, just obedience. Take each step as worship, each action as faith, each day as confirmation that you are walking in alignment with a plan greater than your own. Remember, you're not chasing doors anymore. You're carrying keys. The unlocking has begun, and now the way forward is clear. As you step into this new chapter, heaven wants you to know you are not walking alone. Every promise God releases comes with protection attached. The same hand that opened the door now goes before you, guarding each step, shielding each move. There is divine covering over your journey. Even when uncertainty tries to whisper fear, you will feel a calm presence resting upon you. That peace is not your imagination, it's divine assurance. Angels are already stationed around your path, unseen, yet active. Their purpose is to clear obstacles you cannot see and silence voices that seek to distract. Some of the battles you feared fighting have already been won before you even took a step. You are being hidden in plain sight, protected not by walls, but by grace. This is what Scripture calls the hedge of the Lord. It's the invisible barrier that confuses the enemy and preserves your destiny. What was meant to harm you will lose its aim. What was sent to delay you will lose its grip. Heaven has declared, "Touch not my anointed." There will still be noise around you, opposition, misunderstanding, even envy, but it cannot penetrate divine shielding. Remember, you are not fighting for favor. You're moving under favor. Wherever you go, the mark of heaven follows. You are covered by covenant, not circumstance. You may notice people who once opposed you suddenly go silent. That's not coincidence, it's divine redirection. God removes distractions quietly. He doesn't announce every act of protection. He simply ensures your path remains clear. While others are trying to understand how you're moving forward so smoothly, they won't realize it's because invisible hands are guiding you. Even in moments where you feel alone, remember the silence of people is not the absence of God. In fact, the quieter it gets around you, the more clearly heaven speaks. You'll sense that still, steady voice reminding you, you are safe, you are covered, you are mine. And here's a truth to anchor your heart. Divine protection isn't just defense, it's direction. When God shields you from certain situations or removes you from circles that no longer align, He's not withholding, He's rerouting. Every no from heaven is a sacred safeguard. So walk boldly, sleep peacefully, move confidently. You don't need to anticipate the next attack or second-guess the next step. Your safety isn't in control, it's in surrender. As you move deeper into the promise picture, there's a radiant light surrounding you, soft but impenetrable. Each step you take, the light expands, illuminating the path, while keeping darkness at a distance. This is the manifestation of divine presence, a living shield that travels with you. You have survived battles that should have broken you. Now that same strength is your armor. You walk not as one who fears the unknown, but as one who knows who walks beside them. Let this assurance settle into your spirit. You are protected, guided, and covered by divine hands. The promise is safe, and so are you. And then, almost without warning, it happens. The moment you've been sensing, the one heaven's been preparing you for begins to unfold before your very eyes. The path that once looked like a mystery starts lighting up step by step, and the promise that once felt distant becomes tangible, not a dream, but a living reality. The atmosphere shifts around you. It's subtle at first, a lighter heart, a steadier peace, a sudden realization that the weight you've carried for so long is gone. You feel grounded, yet elevated, like the air itself is filled with quiet victory. That's what divine fulfillment feels like. It doesn't crash in with chaos. It settles in with certainty. Your perspective changes. What used to wound you now teaches you. The moments that broke you now bless you. You can look back at the nights of questioning and finally see their purpose. Every unanswered prayer was a seed buried deep in the soil of divine timing, and now they're sprouting all at once. You are witnessing the harvest of obedience. You start to understand that fulfillment is not only external, it's internal transformation first. You are not just receiving blessings, you are becoming one. The very things you prayed for no longer fill you with fear or striving. You carry them with ease because your spirit has matured into alignment with them. You'll begin to notice how favor flows more naturally, not as something you chase, but something that follows you. People sense something different in your presence, a quiet authority, a radiant peace, a wisdom that can't be faked. That's the residue of refinement. You didn't just survive the fire, you absorbed its light. Fulfillment changes how you speak. Your words no longer carry desperation, but direction. You no longer ask if God will move you, declare that He has. Every step you take feels orchestrated, every choice guided. There's no more panic, only partnership. You've crossed from striving to stewarding. This transformation doesn't make life perfect, it makes it purposeful. You begin to see divine fingerprints in the smallest details. A conversation that opens doors, a moment of peace that feels like a holy pause, a sudden idea that feels breathed from heaven. Everything begins to hum with alignment. Even your pain starts to prophesy. When others see your life, they'll see proof that the process was never punishment, it was preparation. You become living evidence that faith works, that waiting produces wisdom, and that trust is never wasted. And here's the beauty: fulfillment doesn't end the journey, it expands it. God doesn't just answer your prayers, He multiplies their impact. What He gives you now isn't just for you. It's for others connected to your obedience. You become a vessel through which divine promise flows outward. You are walking in what many only imagine: the peace that surpasses understanding, the confidence born of surrender, the joy that doesn't depend on outcome. You've become a reflection of divine timing fulfilled. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it: light breaking through the clouds. Your heart steady, your steps sure, your spirit at rest. That is what it means to stand in fulfillment. Heaven's promise has found its home in you. You've waited long, but now you walk tall. The chapter you're stepping into will not repeat the pain of the last one. It will redeem it. Everything you lost in obedience will return in abundance. And when you look around at the blessings forming, you'll know this is not luck, this is legacy. This is not coincidence, this is covenant. You are living what heaven once whispered. The prophecy has become presence. The promise has become personhood. You have become the fulfillment of a word spoken long ago. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness of this moment, because this is the pause between completion and continuation. Heaven has spoken. The path has opened, and your spirit now stands in a sacred place of alignment. What was once a distant promise has become a living reality within you. Now, all that remains is to seal this revelation with faith, with gratitude, and with spoken declaration. Repeat these affirmations aloud or whisper them until they echo in your spirit. Let them become truth etched into your being. 1. I am walking in divine alignment. Every step I take is guided by purpose. I no longer chase doors. I walk through those heaven has opened. I trust divine timing, knowing that nothing meant for me will ever be lost. 2. I am protected, prepared, and chosen for this moment. I am not afraid of the unknown. The same God who sustained me in the storm now strengthens me in the sunlight. I move in confidence, covered by grace, surrounded by peace. 3. I release the old and embrace the new. The past no longer defines me. My spirit is renewed, my mind is clear, and my heart is open. I am ready to receive what heaven has prepared for me. 4. The promise is unfolding, and I am ready. I am not behind, I am right on time. Every delay served destiny. Every pain birthed purpose. What was once hidden is now being revealed through me. Now lift your heart in gratitude. Because gratitude is the language of fulfillment, it seals what faith has begun. Whisper your thanks for what has been done, and for what is still being written. A blessing for you. May your steps be steady even when the path shifts beneath your feet. May peace walk before you and favor follow behind you. May every door that opens be one that heaven himself ordained. May strength rise within you each time doubt whispers its name. May the light within you outshine every shadow that dares to return. You are not merely stepping into promise, you are becoming the promise fulfilled. You carry heaven's fingerprint, God's timing, and the proof that faith works. The season of striving is over. The era of receiving has begun. You have crossed the threshold, and the way is open. So walk forward with peace in your heart and confidence in your stride. You are covered, you are ready, and heaven smiles upon your journey. It is done.